Welcome into another hour of HQ. Joe Musso on the bag all week long for the 89th playing of the Masters. Well underway, the sights and the sounds so familiar to us, and golf immortality just 4 days away for one of them. So slip on something special and soak it all in as we take you through it all over the next hour. Certain things at this tournament synonymous with the Masters. The name Scheffler quickly becoming that. Scottie Scheffler looking for his third green jacket in 6 starts, and what a start it was here on Thursday. I mean, 44 long if those are fallen, but they already know his size. Scheffler from 62 feet there at the par 3 fourth, and another from range here later in his day at 16. That one every bit of 42 feet. Scheffler a 4 under 68. Quite the start, but still giving chase to one. Justin Rose, your surprise headliner here on Thursday. His birdie there at the par 5 15th from 9 feet. He was full stride at that point, moves to 7 under, 3 shots clear. Just picking off birdies as they presented themselves, going about his business. Another one there at the 16th with conviction. Rosie did, however, get one back at 18 to spoil what would have been perfection on the day. A 7 under round and 3 shots clear of Corey Connors and Scottie Scheffler. Justin Rose, your leader through 18 holes. We now have the pleasure of taking you out to the magnificent slice of East Georgia, where we say hello to our team on the ground standing by. Rick Gehman and Michael Breed. Fellas, I'd say I hope it was a great day, but we know it was a great day. Augusta National has this way of transporting us in time. Let's set our coordinates for 2017 as Justin Rose is our leader through 18 holes, guys, galloping to that 65. Couple solid starts this year, Rick, but he was elite in every way. Where did this come from?
Well, Justin Rose has a history of getting off to really good starts at the Masters. Going back to 2018, he has the 2 best opening rounds in terms of strokes gained. This one on Thursday worth about 8.5 to the positive there. And his last 7 major championships have been feast or famine. Basically all top 10s or missed cuts, Michael. So he is, when he's got it going on, he really has it going on.
And it seems like he's got it on, going on, no doubt, right now. Complete control of his game. The speed of his putts this day was phenomenal. His ball striking was really good. His distance control was really good. I mean, he's leading everybody by 3 in this opening round. When you look at some of the things that he did as the ball goes into the hole, it's not banging off the back of the edge. It's the perfect holing speed. And that speaks to me about calmness, about nerves, and about trust, and also, too, expectation.
And the expectation moving forward perhaps changes. We know Justin Rose operates with supreme belief in oneself, but maybe that belief grows outward now. He has led or co-led following 9 rounds in his Masters career, the most by anyone without a green jacket. He needs 3 more days, but quite a start here. The defending champion, meantime, guys, strong out of the starting blocks as well. A blemish-free 68 for Scottie. I'm not sure stress-free is ever an accurate depiction of major championship golf, Michael, but this is about as close as one can get. What did you observe in his play? But moreover, an ironed-out demeanor from Scottie here on Thursday.
You know, it was interesting because I looked at his preparation coming into this tournament, and I was very, very impressed with where he was. He needed to have a nice performance in Houston. He did 62 on Friday and then a 63 on Sunday. And when you looked at what he did on that Sunday at Houston, he put himself in position. And then when he was having those big moments down the stretch, he took advantage of them. And absent of what I thought was a poor read of wind at Houston, I thought it was fantastic. And so I looked at what he was doing coming in here was great. The only blemish of the day for me was a 3-putt on 15. He made no bogeys, and yet at the same time, you walk away from 15 and you go, well, I could have had one there. But then he makes up for it with that bomb on 16.
Well, that's the greatness of Scottie Scheffler is no matter what he shoots, whether it's a bogey-free round of 68 around Augusta National, it feels like there are a few more out there that he could have had. And, Joe, when I look at this round, it started very early. You know, I was greenside at 3 when he made that bomb on 4, and we were within earshot. We could see it, and it started the rumblings early in the day that it felt like we were just picking up in 2025 right where we left off in 2024. From a statistical sense, this is going to be Scottie Scheffler's 3rd best career round at Augusta National, now 21 rounds under his belt. So obviously a happy hunting ground for him.
And just a hair over field average on approach play, which is often his superpower. Gets it done with the putter and around the greens. if he starts hitting it closer, it's going to get a whole lot closer there at the top of the leaderboard with Scheffler again efforting his 3rd in 6 starts. It was no palms to the sky, no looks of disbelief to Teddy, just a productive step towards a 3rd green jacket. You got to keep the main thing, and that's something that Scottie Scheffler does so well. But for another here, between global travel, competition, a burgeoning social media career, Bryson DeChambeau just finds a way to show up in these major moments. Michael, how has the way that he approaches Augusta evolved over the years?
Well, I'll tell you this. I know you want to go down that path. This is a guy who said, hey, this is a par 67 for me. And you know what? That tells you he likes the golf course and he's pretty comfortable with it, right? But here's the thing that's so curious. On Tuesday night, this guy was out here, and he hit Moose. He hit more golf balls than you can count, and more balls than you've hit this whole week. 393 golf balls he hit on Tuesday getting ready for this. And it wasn't, by the way, he didn't start at 7 in the morning. He started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He's doing it. This means a great deal to him. And obviously, I think he comes in here with a lot of things to prove, interestingly enough. And he did it today. He proved today he is everything that he wanted to be. All that hard work paid off. Went out and played a great round of golf.
I like that Michael hasn't let him forget that he called it a par 67. And he will never outrun that. I do think it's interesting, though, that clearly the last 5 rounds at Augusta National for Bryson DeChambeau have been vastly different than the first 25 or so. This is a place that he couldn't figure out. This is a place that he really had trouble, whether it was the undulation, the uneven lies with those single-length clubs. Just something wasn't vibing. But Bryson evolves. That's what I like about him so much. He tries things. If it doesn't work, he's going to go down a different path. He tried a lot of things at Augusta National that didn't work, Moose. He's starting to figure out what does work right now.
I'll have you know, 2 large buckets at Sterling Farms, Michael Breed. We're working on our game. We're grinding. Maybe not to the Bryson extent.
Those aren't large buckets. Those are extra large buckets for you, Moose.
They are. I don't have any tape on my hands. We got to stay show ready here, Michael. Let's talk Rory, because this was a largely measured day for the majority of this first loop, and then a costly mistake at 15 compounded with another double at 17. And I'm taken back to that lunch that he had last week with the greatest Masters champion in the history of this tournament, and Jack Nicklaus. And they talked about a game plan. That game plan was then confirmed. Rick, did you see that game plan shaken by that first double at 15?
There's so much to unwrap here, and I want to get your thoughts on what went down at 15 here in just 1 second. But he stood on 15T on pace to shoot the best opening round at the Masters since 2011. And he is a guy who needs to get off to fast starts. We know how often you have to be near the top of the leaderboard to eventually go on and win this golf tournament. The double at 15, Michael, I thought was pretty ugly. If you missed it, if you didn't see it, he was behind the green on 15 in 2. He chipped it down into the water. Now, I don't know if that was, it clearly wasn't the execution. The shot did not come out the way that he wanted to, maybe with not a different level of spin, or maybe he hit it too far. But obviously a major mistake that compounds into one double into another one just a bit later.
You know, it's interesting. You sit there and you think about Rory McIlroy, and he was doing everything that he needed to do, including where he positioned himself on 15. The green at 15 was so firm, and I watched it all day. That golf ball was hitting on the green, and it was going to the back of the green, over the green. We saw players. I think it was Schwartzel hit an iron that landed on and went right through into the back water. It was not uncommon for people to be behind that green. Where he missed that shot, and I think he must have caught it a little bit fat. He didn't have any spin, and you can see this ball as it's going. The line is really good. The speed of the ball is exactly what he wants, but there's no spin to stop it. And when you don't have that spin, and these players rely on spin, that's what you get when you hit the ball properly. All of a sudden, he's in the water, and now he's shaking. And frankly, at that moment, from that moment on, all of a sudden it just seemed like he was uneasy. And his eyes, when you looked at his gaze, he wasn't really, it was like he lost focus.
Right.
And he wasn't able to do the one thing that Bob Rotella asked him to do, was this. And he said this early on in his presser. Hey, I got to focus on the opening tee shot. And then I got to take the next shot. And he did that brilliantly for 14 holes and 2 shots on 15. But after that other one, all of a sudden he lost it. And the next thing you know, it got away from him. I don't think he's out of the tournament, but I do think that he has made this a whole lot more challenging. If he gets this in at 4 or even 5 under par, all of a sudden it's a different game for him. He's at even and now 7 shots back.
Right.
And a couple chip shots, perhaps the difference in that, the undoing of a day and maybe the undoing of his chance here at the career Grand Slam once again. 7 back, the furthest anyone has come from through 18 holes to slip on a green jacket. Tiger and Faldo both did that. That is what now is in front of Rory McIlroy. Michael Breed and Rick Gehman, we appreciate you weighing in here from the grounds at Augusta National. More from those gentlemen in just a bit. And don't you forget, all day long, for the entirety of the tournament, we've got you covered right here on CBS Sports HQ. And when they go final, when that final putt drops, Saturday and Sunday, we take you into the Butler cabin with Trevor Immelman. More coming here on CBS Sports HQ as we have just scratched the surface. 18 in the can at Augusta. Big names and some older ones as well. We got more next. The 14th hole at Augusta National saw 10 birdies and a lone eagle in opening round play. Here you see the eagle, and it belongs to none other than the sweet swinging Freddie Couples. How about it, Freddie? From 191 to the bottom of the cup, some sort of fairway medal, a hybrid, a rescue club. Call it what you want, just don't call Freddie for those side bets. You didn't want to see Freddie on this day. Only 10 golfers golf their ball better than the 65-year-old Couples here in the opening 18, and that highlights at number 14, worth some crystal. One will always remember. Back out to Augusta National, where we say hello again to Rick Gehman and Michael Breed. Fellas, this is sort of a respect your elders segment we're going to go about here. Freddie holds that one at 14. Cabrera with a near ace at 4. Olazabal near ace at 12. Michael, what about this place offers us these flickers of past magic each and every year?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Everybody talks about it's a really long golf course, and it is. It's over 7,500 yards. But at the same time, the biggest advantage that people have is the understanding of where to leave a golf ball around here, right? And not missing it in the wrong spots, staying away from double bogeys, which is exactly what we saw from Rory McIlroy. He couldn't stay away from the double bogeys, and if he'd have done that, be a different day for him. So Freddie Couples, who's got incredible experience around here and great passion. You think about Masters champion who won here in 1992, and he got very fortunate, which is another thing that happens with Freddie. Just seems to be really, really lucky. Now, I know we saw that shot that you highlighted on 14, but you probably saw that circle at number 1 where he birdied the first hole, but he made that with a putter off the green. It was improbable. And then, which was cool, Rick, he completely engaged the patrons on the side there. He did the exact same thing when he holed that shot. He is having a great time, but make no mistake, he has a desire to best his record of the oldest player to make a cut. He did that at age 63. He's chasing it again, and I think he's going to get it done.
That early birdie was one of the earliest kind of roars that we got around Augusta National. Maybe it didn't live up to a roar, but it certainly got everybody excited early in the morning. That's the thing. You know, there's always been the narrative around the experience required. What's it worth? Is it worth a stroke per round? Is it worth 2 strokes per round? Well, it's true. It meets it passes the eye test. It passes the sniff test. It passes the stat test. There is something to being an experienced golfer around this golf course that you can't get it from a spreadsheet. You can't get it from the satellite imagery. You've got to come out here and feel the way that these greens undulate, and guys like Freddie Couples have it. And it's cool to see, not only do they get the chance to do it until they want to stop, but they can come out and they can hold their own too. So a really fun day in general.
That is heady stuff from lover of spreadsheets, Rick Gehman. That there is more going on out there at Augusta National, and sometimes a little sprinkle of magic in it. For Freddie, there's a lot of club head covers in that bag these days, but game is called ball and hole, and he finds one there at 14. It's a productive day for some live names, gentlemen. Hatton, the aforementioned Bryson DeChambeau, P. Reed, all in shouting distance, if not better. John Rahm's going to have to yell louder. Lots of talk about his form coming into this week, a weight off his shoulders that we sensed a year ago. What do we attribute this latest disappointment to on this day, Rick?
Lack of momentum. I think, he never really got going. There was a point in the day when you looked up and guys were going on runs. Not always in the best of directions, but you'd see 3 birdies in 4 holes. We saw Corey Connors finish strong. We saw then, of course, obviously things going sideways with Rory McIlroy. And I think the good news for Jon Rahm, Michael, is he was in the second to last group on Thursday. I mean, he essentially got this golf course in its most firm and most fast conditions. He's going to get that quick turnaround to Friday morning and potentially get a softer golf course, but he is going to have to do something to get himself back into the mix.
It's interesting because when I look at Jon Rahm, he feels to me like one of a couple of players that are live players that come to Augusta National with something to prove. And when I watched Jon Rahm's tempo on Tuesday and on Wednesday, it was completely different than what I saw on the range on Thursday. And it seems to me like it got faster, it got rushed. He lost his control of the pace on the greens. And this is a guy who, obviously, his major record, we know he's going to perform great. And yet at the same time, it felt like he was out of sorts. And so what I think he's going to have to do, and it's a quick turnaround for him, but what I think he's going to have to do is figure out how to calm himself down and realize he doesn't have anything to prove to anybody. Go out there, play the golf course, do the best you can, and add it up when it's done. See what score you can shoot, and stop trying to feel like you've got to prove something to somebody. You're fine. It's okay. I think that's what he's got to do. And if he can do that, I think he's going to have some real success.
Yeah, already has invitation to that special locker room there at Augusta National, but looks like he's searching for something else. Some can do without the high-level competitive repetitions. Others cannot, and we're seeing Jon Rahm once again struggle with the latter. The struggle on this day is going to be something that we know. It's a major championship. The setup is that. We're going to a place that we know very well, the ins and outs of this golf course, gentlemen. But I'm interested, Rick, in how you expected a golf course to develop here over 4 days. We saw it develop here over 8 hours.
I think there's a couple of things I'm going to look forward to, especially on Friday. The hole locations in particular. There was that front pin on 13, which gave guys a lot of trouble. We saw a lot of balls go down into that water, and we've got a little bit of rain in the forecast. I don't want to put on my meteorologist hat just yet, but it does seem like we are going to get some precipitation Thursday overnight, potentially into Friday morning, and those guys who had to play Augusta National in those firmer, more fast conditions on Thursday afternoon are going to get an opportunity to get it in its softest point on Friday morning. So I do think there is still a lot of shuffling that can happen from the guys that might have struggled or at least underperformed in the opening round.
You're also going to get a little wind, too, particularly in the afternoon. We saw the wind come up a little bit. It wasn't huge, but it was like 8, 9, 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow is supposed to get into the mid-teens, maybe approaching 20. That happens. Things really get quite a bit different for those that are playing in the afternoon. Look, this golf course can give you and it can take from you, and it's as simple as that. And the wisdom that you have to have, and the reason why you're going to see these individuals that have had great success in the past, like a Freddie Couples and a Bernard Langer and a Jose Maria Olazabal, is they know when to shoot at a flag and when to play away from a flag. And there's a lot of things that go into that decision. Wind conditions go into that decision. Shot shape goes into that decision. The firmness of the greens can play a big part in this. We saw that not just over there on 13, but we saw it on 15. We saw it on the par 3s on the backside as well. You have to understand this golf course is tempting. It is very, very tempting. And if you can resist the temptation, understand when you can play at these hole locations, now all of a sudden you can shoot some low scores. If you go out there and you try to shoot 62, you're probably going to come back with an 82. If you go out there and you try to get it to like 3, 4 under par, who knows? You might even be able to get 5, 6, or even do what we saw out of Rosie today, get it to 7.
And with that 7 under number posted, interesting how those giving chase will alter that game plan in these 3 days moving forward. For 361 days, gentlemen, we wait for these very moments, and we give thanks now for Michael Breed and Rick Gehman amongst the azaleas. Thank you, gentlemen. Coverage all week long here on CBS Sports HQ from the 89th playing of the Masters. Full highlights, reaction, in-depth analysis, and on the weekend, trips into the Butler cabin. And for more reaction, we sail to CBS golf analyst Doug Bell. And the first voice you heard early in the AM on Masters featured groups, Shane Bacon, fresh off the call. Gentlemen, it's great to be with you here on the tail end of, I know, a busy day. But thoughts here first on Justin Rose and what he was able to accomplish. Shane, this was a day that just seemed to amass birdies, one after another after another. What was the through line to the success on this day?
Well, I mean, I think for Justin Rose, he took advantage of a golf course that allowed you to take advantage of it if you did the right things. He had a whole bunch of fairways. He had a whole bunch of greens. Augusta National owes nobody anything. I mean, ask Greg Norman that. Ask Ernie Els that. Ask the great late Tom Weiskopf that. But Justin Rose is one of those players that has done a whole bunch of in his career at this golf course. And he's one of those players that has pushed himself as close to the finish line as possible without winning. And I think the motivation is there for Rose this season. These European players love Ryder Cup years. They get motivated by it. He's 44 years old, and Rose rolled it really well today. And I think you saw it in his face, even with the bogey at the last. I mean, you saw he's ready for the next 3 days. He's ready for this place. He's ready for this golf course, and he's prepared for all of that. And when you kind of look at what Justin Rose has done at this golf course, what is this, the 8th time he's led or co-led at a Masters in his career without winning? That's better than Masters winners of past years. So I think Justin Rose has been waiting for Thursday for a long time, and I think this is a golf course that he plays as well as anybody not named Scottie Scheffler.
Shane and Joe, he did the same thing in 2021 when he shot that 65. I was rooting for him to go 64, but he dropped a shot there on the 18th hole. And in 2021, he opens with 65 and then can't get around in the 60s the rest of the way. 2 even par 72s and a 74. Finished 7th that year. As Shane mentioned, he's had success. Finished 2nd in 2015 to Jordan and 2nd to Sergio in 2017. And listen, he's 44 years old. And I talked to Mark Fulcher, his longtime caddy, Fulci at the Players Championship, and he told me this guy's working harder now in the weight room and off the golf course than he did when he was 34 and 24. So he's taking the game very seriously. He knows his opportunities to win a green jacket. They're few and far between now, looking ahead at 44. So we'll see what he does tomorrow. The conditions are going to be tougher. Wind is going to be up. And let's hope that maybe he plays better in 2025 than he did closing in 2021.
Yeah, and hope that bogey at the last is not the proverbial canary in the coal mine for a man who, as Shane pointed out, has been in this position before. You also allude to Scottie Scheffler. Shane, again, on the call with featured groups. You took in Scottie's full round, as did I, from a different point of view. The couch was fantastic. But when you look at this round, the golf shots are the golf shots, and Scottie's going to make them. What did you observe in his demeanor? We've seen a little bit more of a flippant Scottie Scheffler throughout the season. None of that here on Thursday.
Well, he didn't smile till 16, and I really noticed that a lot. I mean, it was all business. The way he played was business. You look at every shot he hit into the par threes, that part of the green. He was not taking any chances. Took care of the par fives. Was hitting the golf shots that you have to do around Augusta National. I mean, when you watch Scottie Scheffler play at this golf course, it looks a lot like a 5-time winner that won in 2019 to me. I mean, he never takes real chances when he doesn't have to. And he made a couple of those putts. You see the one at 4. He made the long one, obviously, at 16. But even that shot there at 8, he lays up, he hits a good tee shot, and it gets a bad kick, goes left in the rough. He hits the second shot right of the green where you're supposed to hit it, and it goes in a divot. And didn't change demeanor at all. Goes up there, hits kind of the shot up the hill that a lot of players wouldn't even play, and then makes the 25-footer for the birdie there at 8. It was no smiling. It was nothing any more than what you see from Scottie Scheffler at this golf course. Scottie is 17 under par. 17 under par in the opening rounds of the last 4 Masters. We talk so much about Rory, got to get off to a good start. We talk so much about these players, about not shooting themselves out of this golf tournament in the opening round. That idea is foreign to Scottie Scheffler. He plays Thursdays like it's business, and it puts himself in a position to do stuff on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And guys, think about this now. Scottie Scheffler, #1 in the world, #1 from tee to green. His iron play is unmatched. He hits only 11 of 18 greens. That's almost amazing, and he goes bogey free. He was 2 for 2, 2 great bunker saves, and that was a key component. And he didn't birdie 13 or 15. In fact, he 3-putted for par at 13. And all these guys will tell you, especially Scottie, that absolutely drives them bananas when they go a 3-putt, especially for par. But nevertheless, these greens are really, really tough. Scottie said he was going to the range, which he did, to tighten things up. I think he's right where he wants to be, guys. I walked with him in Houston 2 weeks ago, that final round, and I saw this air of confidence that I saw all of last year. Didn't see it early, like at the Waste Management Phoenix Open when he blew up in that final round. But I think Scottie is back where he wants to be, especially mentally. But I think now that he tightens things up, physically he'll be there. And guys, he's secretariat at the quarter pole. I think he's exactly where he wants to be in this Kentucky Derby, which we call the Masters.
Well said, and perhaps we do see that stride over the next 3 days. As you alluded to, gained only a half a stroke on approach. If he starts flagging it, it's sliders and ribeyes and cast iron cookie cake again next April. We'll see. We got 54 holes to watch it all play out. And Doug, I do want to take you to someone who has pressed names in the past and also seen major championship glory recently here in Bryson DeChambeau. You've gotten to know him well over the years on tour, and he's maintained that competitive edge, unlike some of his other compatriots who did defect in these past years. How has he done that?
Well, you know, he's not married except to the game of golf. And there's nothing wrong with being married and having families. I have one, and I love my wife and I love my kids. But listen, this guy is married to the game of golf. He's on the range as we speak now in our post-game show. And he'll be the last guy to leave tonight. They'll have the lights on. As he said after his round today, he needs to go and work on some things with his iron play. Through the week, they chart the number of shots they hit now on the range, and he hit more drives and more irons than any other player, almost ×3. So he's out there working hard, Joe, and I think of all the LIV players, and listen, Rahm didn't play good today. Koepka didn't play good today. I think this guy, I think he works at it harder than the LIV guys, and I think we saw that at the U.S. Open last year. I know he desperately wants to win the Masters, and here's the thing. His game, when you check the boxes, you got to hit it long, 7,600 yards. You got to hit high iron shots. He does, and he's a really good putter. He's got all the boxes checked. He just needs to get it done at Augusta National.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think with Bryson, we sometimes forget how good he is at just simply being a golfer. I mean, the YouTube thing has obviously been sensational for him and some of the antics earlier in his career. I mean, he was an incredible player as a junior and as an amateur, and then got on the pro ranks and was trying a lot of different stuff and tried to bulk up and work on a short game. I mean, he was doing face-on putting when he turned professional. But all of that out the window, he shows up at the toughest golf courses and plays incredible. And the way he's played the major championships the last year, the PGA came so close, obviously a winner at the U.S. Open. And this is a golf course that's taken him a little bit more time to figure out. He played great here as an amateur, you know, when he was paired with Jordan and was really kind of in the hunt through 2 rounds until he hit it left on 18. But I think Bryson has started to figure out Augusta National. Some players get it right away. Ludwig, one of those players. Scottie, one of those players. Jordan Spieth, one of those players. And some players, it takes a few years to truly understand how to get it around when you don't have your best stuff. And I think Bryson had his B- game today and was able to post a number. He'll go work on it. He'll figure some stuff out. And I expect Bryson to do much of the same as we saw today tomorrow.
Yeah, we often ask the question of who wants the ball, game on the line. And Bryson certainly is someone that embraces that type of moment. A tip of the cap to the last person in charge of that GPS system out at Augusta National as well. Bryson going to make for a late night there. Doug Bell, Shane Bacon, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you later on this week. Coverage all week long here on CBS Sports HQ. Highlights, tournament coverage, analysis from both on the grounds and across our CBS family of networks. Keep it locked right here all week long on CBS Sports HQ.